There are many people in this world who have found something that they truly love doing. And if they're lucky, they have had the opportunity to make a living out of that, to get paid for it. But to them, that's just a bonus. They found that one thing that they truly love and have a passion for. And for some people, that thing is musical theater. Now, musical theater is not something you get into for the money. To even get started, you need to have a passion for it. And to some, if not most, Broadway is the top of the heap. That is the goal. I've made it if I'm on Broadway. Because it's so well known. It's one of the most well-known places in the world, especially for theater. The idea is that if you make it there, then you're pretty much set for life. Is that true? I don't know. Wouldn't know. But it is definitely an impressive feat to be featured on one of those marquees. It shows pretty much the world that all of that time, effort, and hard work that was put into this craft by this person has paid off. What sucks is that their passion was my prison. I was performing a Broadway musical in what seemed like a Broadway stage. But I was only there against my will. I was a captive. So as the lights come back up, I guess I try to pull myself together because I know what's coming. But luckily, the first song of the second act, I'm not needed for. It's just the kids. And I have this light bulb moment. The kids. Throughout Act 1, I was so focused on my own situation and trying to get out of it from pretty much from the inside, trying to move my body and failing miserably, that I didn't really register that I had been surrounded by other people for the past hour and a half. This cast is pretty much split right down the middle. There's about a dozen or so adults. There is also about a dozen kids. And I'm talking 8 at the youngest, no more than 13 years old. And I begin to think, like, if this is real, if this is happening, I had to run under the assumption that this was real. Because if it was, then these kids were real. And they, more likely than not, might be in the same situation I am. I still can't see their faces. Maybe they can't see mine. And maybe that's because our eyes were being fooled. It is so much easier to trick the human eye into seeing something than to have it actually happen. Take an illusionist, David Copperfield. He, to a crowd of people and television cameras, he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. Now, logically speaking, reality speaking, that can't happen. That didn't happen. But through his abilities, his methods, he was able to fool our eyes into thinking that it had. So, for my situation, that meant that this was very likely an actual theater, that something was just allowing me to see certain parts of. Now, backstage, for example, was completely black, but I could see the water bottle that I needed, I could see the food that I needed, and the bathroom, which was in the same spot every time. That led me to believe that there were hallways and rooms, I just couldn't see them. There was a cast of people surrounding me, and I could only partially see them. Now, everything else I found out was actually in focus, like the furniture, the chairs, the sets, the props that I was handed, they were in focus. I was able to see them. But only vital information, like faces and locations and identifying factors. That's it. It was identifying factors that were being kept from me. So my focus now wasn't just on getting me out of this situation, but everyone else. That made things a little more complicated. So until I could figure that out, I sort of just had to go with it. So Act 2 continues. I hop on stage, I dance around like an idiot, and we get to a scene where Principal Mullins and Dewey Finn are meeting at a bar called the Roadhouse. And the two of us are seated at a booth across from one another. And we say a few of our lines, and I'm supposed to say one more line and then get up to do something. I think it's, let me go put on a random song. But before I'm forced to say that, I feel different. I'm not forced to say the next line. I'm not forced to say anything. The control that had its grip on me had loosened. Now, I wasn't able to move my body, but I could speak. And the first thing that I did, I actually screamed.